A political war of words has started after the Gujarat government's shocking decision to allow the release of 11 convicts serving life imprisonment in the Bilkis Bano case. The convicts were freed after a panel appointed by the state government approved their application for remission of the sentence. Bilkis, remember, was gang raped, and her 3-year-old daughter was among the 14 killed by a mob on the 3rd of March 2002 in the Dahod district of Gujarat, in one of the most shocking instances of violence during or after the Gujarat riots. Bilkis was 5 months pregnant at the time. There's a great deal of outrage. There always will be in anything related to this case. Joining us now, Asaduddin Owaisi. Mr. Owaisi, thanks very much for being with us. I think what's most surprising, Mr. Owaisi, is that there is a central government notification on Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that in cases of remission, there are certain categories and people are not allowed to get out of jail, and it says quite clearly that those involved in cases of rape should not be allowed. Now, this is a June notification or a July notification. Is it not strange then that Gujarat would go ahead and release these 11?
Well, I wouldn't call it strange. I would call it that it is a deliberate attempt has been made by the Gujarat BJP government. Not only the central government guidelines, but they have even violated their own Gujarat Home Ministry guidelines, which says that anyone who commits a gang rape and murder should not be given remission. So this is a deliberate attempt, and we are seeing what is happening in Gujarat, that whether it's Maya Kodnani, she's out. There are many people who have been convicted in the 2002 pogrom, and they are out now. So I am not at all surprised. In fact, this is a continuous behavior of BJP. This is a clear example of majority appeasement, because the Gujarat assembly elections are forthcoming. So BJP feels that to win Gujarat, they will have to release all these people who happen to murder the relatives of Bilkis Bano, who happen to murder, who happen to rape her, and who happen to kill her child. So it is unfortunate, and it is a deliberate attempt by BJP to indulge in majority appeasement to win the Gujarat state election.
Mr. Owaisi, the Gujarat Additional Chief Secretary, was asked by journalists about how this release actually took place, and he says the age, the nature of the crime, and their behavior in prison actually governed their release. Again, if you commit some of the most heinous crimes in this country, had the new rape laws existed then as they exist now, these men could have been sentenced to death. But in this particular case, the reason given is behavior in prison and nature of the crime. How does the nature of the crime remotely justify their release from a legal standpoint?
It doesn't. It doesn't. And this is a fantastic justification being given by the Gujarat government to release these people who have committed a heinous crime, and they should not have been released at all. Their own home ministry guidelines clearly tell that in case of remission cannot be given to people who have indulged in gang rape and murder, which happened with Bilkis Bano and her relatives. So this is nothing but trying to cover up the wrong decision which they have taken. But I am not at all surprised what we have seen in Gujarat in 2002. If had this trial was not conducted in Maharashtra, I don't think so Bilkis Bano would have got justice, because the trial was conducted in Maharashtra. Even the High Court had given a sentence for life. So this is just sugarcoating the wrong decision. It is very unfortunate. It sends a wrong message to all the victims of rape crimes, and it is more unfortunate because the Prime Minister stood up on the Red Fort, on the ramparts of Red Fort yesterday, and he talked about strengthening, giving more power to women. This is not strengthening. You are weakening the women. You are making you are awarding the people who have committed heinous crime of rape and murder. So this sends the wrong message, and I hope that the BJP government would be brave enough to take back this decision, because this is not on. This is completely wrong, and this sends a wrong message to the Muslim community as well.
And Mr. Owaisi, it's not just the message. Let's think about the survivor Bilkis herself. And this is what she said. I'll read out a small quote of hers. after the Supreme Court verdict several years back, where she said, the Honorable Supreme Court has let me know it stands with me. It understood my pain, my suffering, and my struggle to regain the constitutional rights that were lost in the violence of 2002. No citizen should have to suffer at the hands of the state whose duty it is to protect us. And now this, isn't this a slap on the face, in a sense, of that Supreme Court verdict, which protected her life?
Well, please allow me to say what I am about to say. That is, she has, this is again, crime has been committed on Bilkis Bano. The rape which happened to her, the killing of her 3-year-old daughter, this has now come back. This is a fresh wound which has been given to Bilkis Bano by the BJP. And please understand that the people who committed this heinous crime, they were neighbors of Bilkis Bano.
Yes.
In fact, the day Bilkis Bano was being raped, her child was murdered, the bangles she was wearing on her hand were bought from one of the accused shop. So, it makes it more dangerous, and very, very unfortunate. And I hope that the good sense would prevail on BJP. But unfortunately, good sense is a paradox for BJP. But this sends a wrong message, and the wrong message is that BJP is completely biased towards people who commit a crime and who belong to a particular religion. Why not then release Rubina Memon, who's been incarcerated for 17 long years in the 93 Mumbai blast case? Why not people who are still in jail for Godhra crime? Why not people who are still for Tiffin bomb case? This clearly shows that BJP is completely biased. They don't care about the rule of law. They are hell-bent on using this remission policy to indulge in majority appeasement. And unfortunately, Bilkis Bano and her brave husband are revisiting the crime again now.
Mr. Owaisi, there's another way of looking at it, and it is this, that people with far lesser crimes are languishing in jail because people who deserved to be let out of jail, because our jails are overburdened, people languish for years on end. And here proactively a decision is taken by the state government to release people involved in this rape and people linked to that murder of that child.
I would go further than what you have said. I would say that this is an official policy of the BJP. They are rewarding accused. They are punishing people who are dissenters, who are innocent, who have ideological difference. BJP. So this is a continuous policy being done by BJP, that they will reward such people, they will go soft on them. And please remember, where is Maya Kodnani?
Right.
She's not in jail.
Right.
Please remember the 2 RSS people who have been convicted in the Ajmer bomb blast case. They're out. And when they went back to their home state and their village, they were welcomed as heroes, as what we have seen.
And over here, these
Yes.
people, because these are the images we have on the screen right now, the video is of these 11 coming out, and there are sweets being distributed, yes, by family members, but the fact that this is some sort of a joyous release is something which is unfathomable.
There is no remorse on the part of the BJP government. There is no remorse on the part of people who are giving them sweets. It is as if
if nothing happened.
Nothing has happened, exactly, as if nothing has happened, and they've been rewarded. I mean, that a miscarriage of justice has happened with Bilkis Bano, but here in this case, it is being, the message is that, miscarriage of justice happened because of these people who have been convicted.
But Mr. Owaisi, I'm running out of time, so I want to ask you one more thing, and this is also something I consider part of the travesty, the bizarreness of this case. In April 2019, to protect her rights, the Supreme Court actually directed the Gujarat government to pay 50 lakhs in compensation, a job and a house, right? This is all in a means to, A, it's a recognition of what she's gone through. B, it is a recognition there's a crime. C, it is to help her in such. And now 2 years later, or 3 years later, right, that was 2019, 2022, some other arm of the law in another state goes and says, no, these people are out. It's shocking, the contradiction over here.
I hope and I request you that if you get...
you give her a house and then some other court says go away, the people who've committed this can go. I mean, it's morbid.
it is not only morbid, it is, you are rubbing salt into the wounds of Bilkis Bano. And, what is 50 lakhs? If today Bilkis Bano is asked what will be a reaction, she would say, take back the damn 50 lakhs and the house. Exactly. I want these people who have perpetrated a heinous crime on me and my family, they killed my child, I want them to be behind bars. So I hope that NDTV will take a reaction, but I assume that this is what Bilkis Bano would be saying, that 50 lakhs cannot get back her child, 50 lakhs cannot get back, cannot erase the bad memories she's still suffering from.